Triads are some of the most fundamental building blocks of music, and they're a really, really great flexible framework to work with because you have less notes to worry about, therefore you have a little bit more flexibility with what your left hand's doing. So in today's video I wanted to take a look at taking the beautiful sound of spread triads and showing you some cool little ways to make them melodic, because a lot of guitarists want to get into this kind of melodic, almost pianistic style of playing chords, and they don't know where to come in. So there's going to be tabs popping up on the top of the screen, and I'm going to explain to you some really cool, simple exercises you can do with them. So first of all, let's start out with what is a spread triad. A spread triad is a term that takes, say for example we were playing a G major triad, and let's stick out on the low strings here. So if I had a G major triad, it would be G, B, and then D, so my root third and then my fifth. And what we do to make this a spread triad is we take the middle note B and we kick it up an octave. So now I would finger it something like this. So I have my pointer finger on the 3rd fret, my ring finger on the 5th fret of the A string, and then my middle finger is on the G string. Now, for playing these exercises, I would recommend either working on hybrid picking or doing finger picking. It works just as well that way because we're playing strings that have a bit of a spread between them, and you don't want to get a bunch of pick noise on your muted A string. So what we're going to do is we are going to play a harmonized major scale. And that sounds very complicated, but all that is it means we're going to play all of the chords that are in the key of G major. Now, those chords would be G major, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, E minor, F sharp diminished, and then we end up way up here back at G major. And now what we're going to do to make these melodic is, if you notice, my pinky is free when I play these voicings. So we're going to play a simple little melody where we're going to play the 4th above the 3rd for each of these chords. So for my G major chord, that would look something like this. And there, I'm hybrid picking this, so I have my pick on the low E string, my middle finger on the A string, and my ring finger on the G string, and I'm going. And in doing that, if I were to do it with my fingers, I would probably do these fingers. So I have my thumb, my index finger, and my middle finger. Now, when we go into this, a great way to think about this adding the 4th is that for all of these shapes, I'm staying in root positions. The lowest note of my chord is the note that the chord is named after. And in doing this, a really easy way to think about it, because sometimes we add a natural 4th. But for example, when we're playing our C major chord, it would be a sharp 4. Now, a really easy way to know what kind of 4th you should be adding is you can think about it as you're playing whatever the next note of the G major scale is on that G string. So now when we go through and do this, this is how it's going to look. So I'm going to play nice and slow, and these tabs are popping up here. If you want access to this tab as a standalone sheet, you can subscribe to my Patreon, which is linked down below. But without further ado, here's the exercise. So we get G major, and I just bring my pinky onto that 5th fret of the G string. So da, na, na. When I go up to A minor, now it's this shape. So I have 5, 7, 5, and I'm barring with my pointer finger there. And now my pinky's gonna go on to the 7th fret to play the note D. So as we go up, we get B minor, so same shape, just 2 frets higher. And now here I'm gonna play a C major triad. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my pinky on the 11th fret of the G string, because the note in the key of G would be F sharp rather than being F. So we're sticking just to the key of G. So my next note up from E would be F sharp. Now C major is going to go up 2 frets to D major. Back to just a normal 4th there. Then we get E minor up at the 12th fret, so it's our minor shape again. Normal 4th. Now our diminished shape in this case has our pinky going up to the 16th fret and down, and then here we end up all the way back at the major shape that we started on, G major. It's just an octave higher than when it was down here. So now really quick with the tab rolling ahead, I'm going to play it to you at a little bit faster of a tempo so you can get an idea for what that sounds like. So that would sound like this. We'd get... I went 1 fret too far there. I'll leave that in. The mistakes are free. Anyways, so that is it going up. Now, I'm always a fan, and what I tell my students all the time, if you're one of my students watching this, you'll probably have heard me say this, what goes up must come down. So now we're going to do it in reverse. So we're starting up here on this G major, and we're going to go, goes down to the F sharp diminished, E minor, D major, C major, remember that one has the sharp 11, or sharp 4, that, B minor, A minor, and we get back down to the G there. So one more time, here's the whole thing going up and down at a moderate tempo so you can get an idea of what this actually sounds like. Beautiful sound, and again, it just gets you thinking about different little melodies you could play over each of these. So say for example I reached for this A minor chord, I can have that as a little expressive thing that I do where I'm practicing using my pinky as a melodic tool. Now let's look at the same idea, but we're going to do it in the key of C. So this would be on a different set of strings, and now the shapes for these guys are a little bit different, but follow along with the tab here and I'll play it all the way up, and then we'll work on putting it all together. So here, I'm actually just going to move my pinky for these shapes. So I have C, my 2 chord would be D minor, E minor is my 3rd. Now for F, this one might be a bit of a reach for some of you, but it's really good to kind of train your left hand pinky to get comfortable with this. So I have to reach it from the 10th fret up to the 12th fret. Then if I keep going, I'm going to get G major, A minor, B diminished here. There I changed my fingers around, and then I get that C at the top. So again, at a reasonable tempo here with the tabs, this is what that guy would sound like. Now what goes up must come down, so if we work our way back down, we would get now one more time, here's the whole thing of C going all the way up and all the way down. So we would get So there you have one of my favorite exercises to do on the guitar. I'm going to really quickly show you one more way to do it. If we were to do this for a key that starts with triads on the D, G, and then E strings, they're the exact same shapes as C major, but now would be in the key of F. So I'm going to just do a quick run through this while the tabs run above me, and it's going to look something like this. Got a little buzzy there. So anyways, I hope you found this video useful. If you did, I'd really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. It really helps me out more than you could know. If you want to take a guitar lesson with me, there's a link to get in touch with me down in the description. I'd love to work with you on whatever's troubling you on the guitar. If you're looking to support me in the free educational content that I put out here on the channel, a great way to do so would be signing up for my Patreon down below. All of my patrons get early access to videos as well as cool behind the scenes sneak peeks at stuff that I'm working on that I don't share anywhere else. So I'd love to see you over there. Another great way to support me and what I do is to pick up one of my video courses or my ebook, which are also linked down below. It's a great way to get some more in-depth educational content from me than I can share in just a 10 to 15 minute YouTube video. But last but not least, I got new videos coming out every single week, so I hope I'll see you in the next one. And until I do, I'll wish you a wonderful day, and I hope you have some fun playing the guitar. Thanks.